I only have mattress
Okay. How?
in my suitcase. It was pretty cold. I wear like 3 layers.
uh,
I never experienced that. Well, when I moved, well, okay, the first meal I had was a burger, which is In and
a
Out.
burger. Okay.
Okay, that went
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I know, like, hey, I
Can
want
I have
to
a
order
burger?
like
Yeah.
cheeseburger.
Okay.
That's all I
Yeah,
did.
There you go. Okay.
But and then I live nearby the campus, which is
Okay.
USC,
Yeah.
and it's in quite in nearby downtown LA.
Yeah.
So not, I guess a lot of things over there, but in my area, particular, a lot of Spanish people,
Communities, right?
yeah, Spanish speaking community of Mexicans,
Yeah.
which now I love their food,
Mm-hmm.
but at that time it's just I don't know what
You
those
can't e-
are, you know.
You can't even order them. Right?
I know, right? So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
those that
Got it.
I guess that's
okay.
what
okay.
happened.
So that was the level of your proficiency, just not super confident in it. What are the challenges that you face with the move besides the language barrier?
The language barrier is the biggest one,
Uh-huh.
and then having no friends.
So you know nobody here.
Nobody. There is this one friend of my brother.
Uh-huh.
Not even friends of my brother. She's just like classmate of my brother. So
Okay.
she was
Your
younger.
classmate in
High school, I think.
in Indonesia.
In Indonesia.
right? But she was
She
was
went
there.
to she went to the US.
Yeah.
Right after graduating
Mhm.
from high school.
Yeah.
So I asked my brother to connect
Mm.
her to me, and
Yeah.
we're just like I asked for advice how to do stuff
Yeah.
around LA. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm like
Yeah.
I know nothing about LA.
Yeah.
If it's not because of the information I got from her, I wouldn't know that
Right.
I needed to open a bank account.
Yeah. So all those logistics, what are some of the struggles that you face?
Oh man,
Like,
it's
opening bank account, finding a place to live, getting around. How was that?
so the story started when I was still in Indo preparing for
Mm.
moving to the
Right.
US.
Right.
I met this friend of my brother's back home. I asked about information. What
Mm.
am I supposed to do when I got there? And she gave me a long list of things to do, starting with like finding your lodging.
Mm.
Is it are you going to stay at the hotel first or straight away find an apartment? And those are complicated, right? If you
Yeah.
never done things like
Yeah.
that, it's pretty complicated,
Yeah.
and especially you don't know the situation over there. I never been to the US before. I
Right.
never been to LA before I
Right.
moved,
Yeah.
so it was pretty scary. I
Yeah.
know nothing about
Right.
the US, and I kind of panicked because I only
Mm.
got like a month of preparation. I
Right.
got my letter of acceptance late November, early December,
Uh-huh.
and school started January.
Okay.
Yeah, I took that spring intake. It's pretty uncommon, but that's what I did. And with that short period of time, I have to
Yeah.
basically
Figure
prepare
out all that.
everything,
Yeah.
including I didn't have my I-20, which is the document that will allow me
To enter. right?
enter
Yeah.
to the country. So it was hectic. I think hectic is an understatement, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
a crazy time
Yeah.
for me.
I could imagine. Yeah.
But luckily, I was able to get connected to people from same school that I graduated my undergrad from,
Mhm.
which is Itebe. I found people from Facebook.
Right.
Thank God for technology,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
I got connected to these
Yeah.
people. These people also studying at USC at that
Yeah.
time. They were nice. This is just two guys that helped me, and
Mm.
they were actually helped me find the lodging,
Mm.
the place, and then uh, pick me up when I
Mm.
arrived here because
Oh,
I
that's
was just
nice.
by myself
Yeah.
and it was in a BMW. So
Oh,
it was
okay, okay. So
quite
you
nice
so
car
you
too.
so you started with the high life when you got here.
Uh, kind of, kind of.
Uh-huh.
It was January, pretty cold.
Yeah.
It was already like 8 p.m. or 9,
Okay.
probably like later than 9. I got at my I ran in like a room in a house. I got to that house pretty late, so I couldn't go to supermarket or anything.
Mm.
I only have mattress
Okay. How? Uh-huh.
in my suitcase. It was pretty cold. I
Yeah.
wear like 3 layers.
Uh,
I had never experienced
yeah.
that weather before.
Yeah.
Indonesia is tropical, so it's just
Yeah.
it's not that cold,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't sleep
Yeah.
at all that night.
Yeah.
In the morning, I contacted one of the guy that
Right.
helped me,
Yeah.
and he didn't have a class and just helped me to open a bank account,
Okay.
and then
Right.
bought a comforter, and yeah,
Right.
that's so helpful. I'm
Mm.
so grateful for that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, right? Like how, yeah, how you made that move. It's just kind of crazy, right? Like you have so many challenges. You have the language barrier. You have no friends that you
Yeah.
know, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, your family wasn't with you,
Mhm.
right? And it's not like your parents just give you unlimited amount of money for you
Oh,
to,
for sure. Yeah. Super limited amount of
right?
money.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
yeah.
it's a pretty crazy time. But I'm also curious about like
Uh-huh.
how your experience
Right.
from US.
Yeah.
You've been here quite a while, I guess. Like
Yeah.
you finish school,
Uh-huh.
work, and then because of the visa stuff, you
Yeah.
have to basically uproot yourself
Yeah.
and move to country up north.
Yeah.
Let's call that Canada.
Yeah.
And how's your experience like? At that time, you didn't even have certainty. Like, are you
Yeah.
going to go back to the U.S. after that, or what's gonna happen, right?
Mm.
So, how's your experience with moving to Canada?
Yeah. Canada is, yeah, that was definitely an interesting experience. So for those lucky non-immigrants or Americans who don't understand the pains of people from other countries. Basically, we're allowed to work shortly after school for up to 3 years if you're a STEM major. And then you get to stay past that if you have this visa called H-1B,
Right.
right? And the bad thing is like H-1B is now like a lottery, so they only have a certain quota. There's way more people who applied for that, so it's like I think it's like a 50-50 lottery that slowly decline over the years. Now it's maybe like 30% chance to get it. So anyway, like you can enter the lottery
Right.
once a year. So I went for it 3 years, right? Each year in my 3 years being able to work here, and for some reason, well, not for some, just by probability, it's actually quite likely that I don't get it after three tries, right?
Yeah.
It was definitely a period of uncertainty, right? Like every year, you just have the possibility to stay past the 3 years, or you have to go through that uncertainty again the next year.
Yeah.
And imagine the final year, right? When I don't get the first and the second time, and then the third time, it was insane because your future after however like 6 months to a year is gonna be completely different. It's just
Definitely.
I'm gonna be
Yes.
in this
Oh, man,
country
yeah.
doing the same job, with the same life, and you know, moving forward with my life plans here, or it could just be something totally different if I don't get if I
Totally
don't get
unknown
it.
for you.
Yeah, and so fortunately, I was able to enjoy some level of certainty. I worked out with my company or my manager, and thankfully they were able to work out the logistics and figure out a backup plan, right? Okay, we know this visa thing is gonna come up in a few months, but let's have a backup plan to move you to another location, another office location.
I see.
And you can spend some time there and then try the visa again next year. And if you get it, you can move back. If not, there's like, another backup plan, another type of visa that you can use to get back here.
So
Yeah.
before you enter the lottery for the third time,
Mm-hmm.
you already got that option if anything bad happened, which if you got unlucky again,
Yeah,
then you have the options of
I have that
plan
option.
B. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess you are kind of lucky in that sense.
I'm lucky in
like
that
you're
sense.
Fortunate.
Yeah, I'll consider myself blessed, but it is crazy, right? But they were still figuring out what location that is,
Uh-huh.
right? So initially, like my manager was like, okay, like we're gonna figure out with the legal and the HR like where this location is gonna be, and then he was like, oh, but you have any preference, in case we can tell them where you want. And I was like, wow, this is kind of nice. I get to pick anywhere in the world. That's
So yeah, for the listeners, Win is working for a global company, right?
Yeah,
You can say
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
they
you have
have
offices all over the
yeah,
place.
yeah.
So yeah, you
Yeah,
have that option.
I have that option. So I was like pretty excited. I was like, whoa, okay, wow, exciting, right? And then I was like, yeah, wow, it would be nice if I can work remotely from like Singapore. I really like my time there. Like the country and all. And then if not, yeah, like how about London? London's like a nice city and haven't been there. I have some friends there.
Okay, yeah.
And then they were like, oh, how about like something in the same time zone? And then I'm like, same time zone but not in the US, I guess Vancouver. That the weather is okay there. So he's like, okay, let me take this to the legal and the HR. And then like after some time he came back and it's like, okay, so we consulted with them and we have one option for you. I don't even call it an option. They said you have to go to the Toronto office, and I'm like, wait, that wasn't in the top 3, right? And I was like, why not Vancouver, right? I was like, you wanted something in the same time zone. Toronto is like Eastern time, right? It's like 3 hours. And then there was just a whole like explanation of like, oh, we don't really have an office in Vancouver. Like they have a building, but it's not like an official office. So there was a whole lot of that. And so they're like, all right, Toronto. They didn't say like take it or leave it, but basically it's that, right? Like that's the viable option. And basically I had to make a call. Like obviously I can always go back to Indonesia and just I don't know what I'm gonna do there, but that's one option because that's always an option to go home. Or I can go to Toronto, and I mean, we're both Christians, and I sort of deliberated this in my prayers and sort of seeking what God might want out of my life, and yeah, sort of landed with Toronto. Take that risk. Yeah, again, I don't know anybody there. Thankfully, I can speak the same language. But yeah, I don't know anybody there, and there's also an uncertainty of like, am I gonna get a visa that can bring me back to the U.S.? Yeah.
I see. So you didn't get that H-1B or working visa, obviously. That's why you had to move to Canada.
Yeah.
And you spent a year, I believe, right, in Canada?
Yeah. Almost a year and a half. Yeah.
So it sounded like you kind of like had to move to Canada for some reason before you actually get that H-1B visa. Do you feel like after what happened over there, you kind of like in hindsight, you get what God wants you to experience over there, or what did you get from your experience in
think
Canada?
so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, over that time in Canada, I mean, again, like in hindsight, I really see why, I should move there. One is, just to leave behind distractions that I have here, sort of my hobbies, like my circles of friends, and they sort of are distractions. I mean, not like necessarily bad in themselves, but sort of distractions for me, growing closer to God, growing my faith. And yeah, during that time, I get to see, to get plugged into a church or a Christian community, and really be able to experience that, right? And not to mention, I met someone there.
No, of course, yeah, of course.
And yeah, and then we got together, and now we're doing a long distance relationship. But we can go into that another time.
Some other time. That's interesting, but
Mhm.
I guess that one big thing that you got from your experience is you get to experience
Yeah.
the community, Christians community,
Mhm.
church community over there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how we got connected.
Yeah.
You move back here, and then you start looking for
Yeah, like a church, a home
like
church.
a church and Christian community. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
I guess it's
So,
a good thing
uh-huh.
that you have to be kicked out.
Yeah, you have to be kicked out and experience that to be where I am now. So anyway, I think like for our listeners, now that they know a lot of our journey and we share some of our experience, maybe if we can, talk about some of the things that just general good guidelines, right? If like you're moving to another country, and in light of the challenges you're gonna face, like what are some advice that or mindsets that you think people should just have when you go through these moves?
Okay, I think it's I don't know, but I think for me it's easier nowadays because you have YouTube, you have Facebook, right? Don't be shy, don't be lazy. Do your research, do your due diligence, right? You want to move to the US. I did this too. Like, what do you need to do? Look at YouTube.
Yeah.
I found like pretty good videos
Right.
over there, and of course, like, try to find people, Facebook, or can you find people from Instagram? I guess so.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, from wherever you're gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Facebook's over there, so
Yeah.
just like find people over there
Yeah.
on Facebook, ask people around if you really don't have people that you know from the place that you're going to move to, then I'll just find random people, ask them.
Yeah, mutual friends, get connected. Yeah.
Get connected.
Yeah. So do your research and prep as much as you can.
With the technology, it's much easier, and even I did that like with obstacles during my early times here in the US. I don't know how to speak English properly. I listen to YouTube a lot. That helps.
Yeah.
Those technologies is just gonna make your life easier. So use those technologies as much as you can.
Yeah.
And
and now it's like you have Google Maps, you can
Google
search
Maps.
anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The world has become more, I don't know, like united now in the sense that the technology is
it's all the same.
Exactly.
It's all the same. You can I think for me, we've kind of just offered something different. Is sort of your mindset, right? When you approach these things, it's just sort of being open, viewing it as an adventure, and just distinguishing between what is within your control and not, right? Like, again, in my experience, I had the illusion of choice to choose where I want to go to, and then just sort of handed me this, and after you understand that, like there's some restrictions on the legal side or on whatever ends, and you figure out that this is the option that I am left with, then there's not much in trying to be sad about it or be like super down about it and like this is just gonna be a bad experience because it's not my top 3. What is the city, like I don't even know, it's so cold in the winter, and all that kind of stuff. Like, instead of thinking about that, it's just like, okay, I accept that if I go with this option, this is where I'm going, I can't change that. So how should my mentality change so that I can make the most out of it, right? So
That's
it's
great.
for me, it's like, it's gonna be cold in the winter. Well, I haven't lived in a cold climate for an extended period of time. I hate the cold, but let me take this as a way for me to figure out, well, now I learn how to survive in a cold climate. I know I can experience how it is. And I even went to check out an ice hotel in one of the neighboring cities.
Well, what is that?
In Quebec, ice hotel is just a hotel made of ice. You sleep inside there. So
Okay.
it's sort of embracing that, and making the most out of it. Yeah.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
that would be my sort of advice on moving.
So I guess for one last thing
Mm-hmm.
to say to the listeners,
Yeah.
what's going to be what is that one thing that you learn from your experience moving? It can be from Indonesia to Singapore, or U.S. Singapore to the U.S. or U.S. to Canada.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think for me the one consistent thing is, again, like we're Christians, so for me it's trust God, right?
Yeah.
God has a plan. As long as you pray about it and consult God and understand that you're walking with Him in the next phase of your journey, then it's gonna be okay. Like things would just come to you. You would just get lucky on some things, and
Yeah.
you're just gonna be looked after. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. Like, God will never leave you.
Mm-hmm.
And just from your experience, right? You get to know someone over there. You got a girlfriend over there.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what he
Yeah,
has in
it's
store. Yeah.
it's amazing how God works sometimes.
Yeah.
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 But okay, I guess that's the end of today's episode for our first ever episode of
Yeah.
Live Couch Potato.
Yeah.
It's good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy this.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys also enjoy this. And if you guys want to follow us, please follow us in YouTube, Instagram, and you can listen in all that podcast platform, audio platform, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or some other. We will be there. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. All social media platform, we are there. So just follow us over there. Get connected with us. Ask us any questions if you guys want. So yeah, we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.